Hey everyone! Hey Silso, you are faster than me. Welcome to another technical live stream here at the Wized channel. Happy to be here. Today we are continuing building this community forum where we're going from nothing, from scratch, up until a fully production ready project, building everything using Webflow, Wized, and Supabase. Today I think that it's the what number is this one? I think that it's the ninth installment, I believe. Ninth, maybe 10th installment. Ninth. All right. So we've been going at it for about a couple months now. Wow. Cool. So, as mentioned in the previous live stream, today we are going to be building an activity feed for the users' profiles. So everyone, when they join to the forum, they can go to their profile and they can see everything that they've done, the posts that they have created, the comments that they have created, replied to, the likes that they have done, and maybe I think that it would be also cool to see the posts that the user has seen as well. So keep an activity log of every post that I open because maybe I want to go back to it and see it again. I think that it's cool. Hey Harry, thank you for dropping by. Nice to have you here. So that's the focus for today, and we were discussing before joining the live stream about how many live streams do we want to keep this going, because we're getting to a point that this is pretty much a fully functional forum now. There's obviously a lot of things that we could be adding. I could be working on this for a whole year, but the idea is to try to wrap it up to when once we get to a point that it's a fully functioning site. And I think that today we're going to be building this activity feed, and after that we are going to focus on memberships. So we're going to bring Stripe into the mix so we can implement memberships, which is going to give these premium functionality that a lot of people always want to implement on their site, so you can use it as a reference if you're building something similar. So that's the idea. But today, let's not get ahead of that. Today, we're focusing on the activity feed. So let's go to the project to see how things are looking right now and start working on this. If you have any questions, remember that you can drop them while doing the live stream here in the comments. If you're watching these in the future, you can check the timestamps below so you can be skimming through if you want. And also, you can drop a comment. We will always look at the comments and try to answer them either directly by answering you in the comments or in the next live stream where you can address those questions. All right. Cool. So we've got the main page, all posts working great. So when we load all the posts. We can navigate through categories. We can open the posts. We can see the main post. We can see the navigation. We can like the posts or dislike the posts. We can also remove the posts only if we are the owners of those. I see a comment by Silso. Look at that. Hey, nice. We can like comments. We can post comments. Hey, I think that it would be cool at some point also to be able to tag people like that, right? So Silso would eventually get a notification that he's being mentioned. But yeah, and if I create the comments, I can delete those comments myself. That is cool as well. And in my profile page right now, all I can see is only the profile image. I can see my email. Right now, there is no way of changing that. Maybe we could do that as well in the future. We've got the usernames, which there's still a to do here, which is forcing the usernames to be unique. Because right now, anybody could join and create a username that is exactly the same one, and we don't want that, right? That's something that we should do. We can also add the birthday. And down below here, I want to add another section that is called activity feed. Using the forum from FinSuite as a reference, this forum is powered by Discourse, so it has a lot of functionalities, of course. One of the things that you can do is check your activity, which I forgot here, right? And in Discourse, you can see everything. You can see replies. You can see what you have read. If you have any drafts, that's also interesting. The likes, the bookmarks, that's also cool. Maybe we could allow people to bookmark a post. That's nice. Reactions, solved, etc. So for today, I think that we can start with something that it's almost ready to be done in terms of the database, which is seeing the posts that we have created, the comments that we have created, the posts that we have liked, the comments that we have liked. And I think that we should also do what we have read. We will have to update the database a little bit to do that, but it will be nice to have. So let's go to Webflow because we first need to create the UI for this. So let's go to the profile page. We've got this. Nice. But I also want to have an activity section. So let's duplicate this. I think that we can just do this. Activity. Let's make this a heading 2 like that. Maybe we can have a little bit less padding here. Cool. Even a bit less, I think. Yeah, let's do even less padding. Section small. Nice. All right, cool. So in here, we want to create a tabs system, right? There's many ways that we can create tabs. The one of the easiest ways would be to simply do not even tabs, so links. If you check it in the forum, how the Discord's forum from FinSuite looks like, anytime that I switch any of these different, any of these different categories here, it's not really a tab system. It just the UI looks like that, but the URL changes. So all of these are different pages. This is a page. This is another page. This is another page. This is another page, and that could be very convenient because then that would mean that we're only loading the data that we are visiting, right? So if I'm in the here um, and I only want to load the posts that I have read, I don't need to be loading the comments that I have liked, things like that, right? Um, that's one approach. Another approach would be to create traditional tabs. We could use, for example, Webflow's tabs, although I'm not a very big fan of that. But for the use case, I think that it would be nice to do that. We can use tabs, for example. That's the built-in component from Webflow. Now, one of the downsides of this is that these tabs all are loaded at the same time, and you navigate through the tabs on the same page on the client, which means that we will be loading all the info at once, unless we add some custom logic where we check if the user navigates to a tab and then we make a request to load something, but that will complicate things. So for now, we're just going to keep things simple. Just keep in mind that there's always room for improvements, for optimizations. But let's do this. So let's do my posts maybe. Then we can also do like posts. We can do my comments, and also we can do liked comments. Nice. And lastly, we can do read posts. Let's do it in here. Read posts. Read post? Is that how I would say this? Read posts. That works, I guess. Yeah. All right. So we want to do this. Now, in here, posts, these three ones, we're going to be listing posts again, right? So we want to reuse the system. View history. Yeah. I just want, yeah. It's just because it's like something posts, like something posts, something posts. I think that it's nice. And this would be like comments. And this would be my comments. Let's keep it like that. So we want to reuse things, right? So for example, here, if I see the red, we are seeing the posts being listed exactly as I would see them if I go to the main page, right? So I think that it makes sense to reuse the component that we are currently using, both for the post item here in the all posts page and also in the category pages. We're also using the same component like that. So we will have to do one thing, and it's that obviously we can reuse this element, but we will also have to change a little bit how we render the list for those items, right? Because right now this is a post item like this. Um, and that post item element, it's set up in Wized in a way that um, let me show you. It's set up here in a way that we are rendering the list using the vposts data like that. And here this as well, and here all of this as well, right? um, we should do something better to handle this. Ideally, we would be doing we'd be using a functionality from Wiz that will be coming in the next months, which is the ability of creating Wiz components that allows you to reuse the same element but with different data sources. That would be very, very convenient for this specific setup. But now we have to work around it. And one way that I am thinking that we could use is by using data attributes to identify them. Yeah, we'll do that. Yes, Ilse, that will be great. Promise that it will be very, very cool. All right, I have an idea on how do we do this, so let's quickly do it. First of all, let's grab this post component. Let's go back to the profile page, and under my posts, I want to use this. Actually, I'm going to use not the post item, but also the main content. Yeah, I think that we can use this main content. So let's copy all of this. Profile, boom, boom, like that. Nice, nice, nice. Let's get rid of the loader for now. That's fine. Great. So I want to reuse this for my posts, for the like post, and for the read posts, right? But let's start with the main my posts. So if you remember here, right now, all we have is just a Wized post item, right? So, but we want to change the source of the rendered list for this. So what I'm going to do is update this component to add another attribute that will be something like data source. Yeah, let's call this. And this will be binded to a property so we can reuse it across different components. This source will be, let's do my posts like that. Oh, but I don't want to have the default property. Sorry. Property settings. No default text. Data source now. So these will be my posts. Boom. Now, if you go back to the homepage, this will be all posts. And if we go to the category pages, this will be category posts, right? Which means that if we publish this and we quickly check it in Webflow, you're going to see that each one of these has, let's see if it was loaded fine. Yeah, so here you can see how there's these data source equals to category posts. If I go to the homepage, this has data source equals to all posts. And if we go to the page, which is currently not in here because I have to load, hold on, alex.iglesias@finsweet.com, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I go to my profile page and we check the tab down here, there's nothing, obviously, because we're not rendering. So anyways, just forget this. All right, but now that we've got this, we can go to Webflow and update how the post items are loading the data. Let's do something else, all right? Stay with me. We are going to do the activity feed on a different page, all right? And then we're going to make each of these to be a different page, exactly as what happens in this course, all right? That will simplify a lot what I'm trying to do. So each one of these will be just not a tab, but will be a link that brings us to that page. And in that page, we only need to load the posts for that, which means that we don't have collision of different sources when trying to render the list. We're going to do that, right? After 10 minutes, that's my best bet right now. So let's do this. This is going to be, let's duplicate this. Let's go with activity. Let's create. We can get rid of this. We can get rid of this. This can be now padding section large. So let's do this. Padding section large. Done. This can be a heading 1 like that. And now this doesn't need to be a tabs system, but instead we can come up with actual links. So let's do this. This will be dev. Let's make this activity nav. And that will be simply just some flex in here where we add some links. So let's do, yeah, let's just simply do text links. Text link. So this will be my posts. And then we'll have like posts, read posts, my comments, like comments. All right. So like posts, and then read posts, and then my comments, and liked comments. Like that. Cool. So let's make just a little bit of spacing between. Nice. What else? Maybe we can turn this into buttons. That's too much. Do we have something for a link? Category link? Yeah, let's use this. Category link. That's absolutely fine. Let's do this. Nice. Let's add some margin at the bottom. Like that. And then we're going to have the actual list down here. Like that. Boom. Done. Cool. Okay, so this goes for activity. The main activity should be my posts. So this goes to simply activity. Now we can do like post, read post, my comments, and like comments. And all of these, each one of these is going to be in a different page. All right. So first of all, we want to create a component that is reusable across the different pages. Let's do activity. Oh, hold on. Activity nav. Nice. And now let's just point things. We're going to do this. So let's, first of all, create a new folder down here. That's going to be activity. Boom. Done. Create. Let's move this up. Actually, I'm thinking that this could be, let's put this under activity. And that could be my posts, right? So my posts would be the default. And this is going to be /activity /my posts. Nice. Done. So that's the default. And now let's duplicate this. Let's make this, this is going to be liked posts. Boom. Let's call this properly my posts. Nice. All right. And then we also need read posts. So let's do this. Duplicate read posts. And we also need, again, my comments. So let's duplicate my comments. And lastly, liked comments. Nice. All right, cool. So let's put the links properly here. This is pointing to the page of activity my posts. This is pointing to the page of my activity like post. This is going to read posts. And then my comments and liked comments. Perfect. So now we can navigate across these different pages like that. Very nice. There's one extra thing that I want to do, and it's that I want to add a current styling for it. So let's make some styling. Maybe we could we could add some text decoration. That's absolutely fine, like that. So this way, when we navigate to one of these, at least we can see that we are in there. Nice. It's pretty decent. All right, cool. So from the post item, we can get rid of that attribute that I added because right now it doesn't really help us like that. Um, and that's pretty much it. So let's jump into this and start building it. The first thing that we're going to need is make a request to find my posts, all the posts that I have created. All right, so let's do this. Let's rescan the pages for a second. Here, my posts. Boom. Cool. So let's do this. Let's go to request. Let's create another folder that is going to be called activity, like that. And let's call it get my posts. Let's go Supabase. We're going to get a list that comes from posts. So let's get a quick, fresh reminder of how things working here. We've got the table of posts, we've got the table of comments, and then we've got the post likes and comments likes. All of these are going to be pretty easy to build. All we have to do is query these tables, looking for the user ID of who created them, and compare them with the user ID of me as a logged in user, right? Um, some serious missing padding here. I think that we need to publish this. Cool. So from the posts, we want to filter, and we want to filter by user ID. And the user ID must be equal to the get user data user ID, all right? Because this belongs to us, like that. So when we do this, if we did it right, we should see how I can now see the posts that I have created, like that. All right. And because we are reusing the same component for the posts rendering, all we have to do is update these posts data request to also include the result of here, this. So this is going to be r dot get my posts, dot data. And as you can see, that's it. Pretty much it, I think. Well, no, because we need to make the request when the page loads. So we want to do this. On the events, we want to get my posts. And we're going to get my posts on the page load. So when the page starts loading, we're going to make a request, and that request will be the get my posts. But we want to make this conditional because we only want to load this whenever we are under /activity /my posts. So here, let's make this conditional, and let's do that n dot path is equal to /activity /my posts. This way, this only loads on this specific page, but not on any other page. Did we did it right? I don't know. /activity /my posts. Is not that it? Hold on. Console log and a path. Actually, why am I doing that? I could simply do return and a path. And I know that, yeah. So and a path, it is equal to /activity my posts. Exactly like that. So if we check this, that is true. All right. So when the page starts loading, I should see this being loaded. I think that we are getting an error. Hold on. We're getting an error here. There is an error that says invalid input syntax for type UUID undefined. Okay. We need to wait until the user is loaded before doing this. So here, boom, when getting all posts, first of all, we want to wait for the get user request to finish, right? I'm going to show you a trick on how to do this. You can simply, let's add an action that goes before that. And let's run a function And that function, all it will do is await with.requests.wait for get user, like that, right? Essentially, that will, is it get user? All get underscore user. Yes. So I think let's also return this. Now, invalid syntax for UUID undefined, but we are waiting for it. Today's bug day, and I'm not liking it. Run a function. Yes. Oh, hold on. I updated the wrong one. I'm here in get all posts. I don't want to do that. My bad. I want to do it on get my posts. So let's do it again. Sorry, guys. So let's run a function here. Let's await for with.requests.wait for. And we can do get underscore user like that. Or instead of awaiting this, we can simply return it. And it's going to be the same thing. So if we do this, now we're talking. All right. So first, we are waiting for the get user request to finish. And then we are loading things. Now, my question is why the post item category is not being displayed? Probably because we need to include it. Yes, we need to include it. So if we check the get all posts here, get all posts, you're going to see how we are selecting specifically that we want to have some things: ID, title, category, categories, and profile profiles. We need to include that as well because we're doing a joint query, getting the data from the category and getting the data from the profile of the person who created it. So let's do this. I'm going to grab the ID, the title, the categories, and the profile as well. And let's go ahead and update that in here. So I want to do the, let's do ID. I want to do the title. I want to do the category, and I want to do the profile like that. So if we do it again, now this is done. Nice. Cool. Okay. Perfect. Nice. So this is what you can find now. Now we can do the same thing, but for liked posts. So how do we do this? We want to find all the posts. Yeah, it's very convenient, Raycast. Absolutely. We need to find all the posts that I have liked, right? So we would want to, let's see how we do this. We're going to want to do a join query where I get all the posts, and I also get, let's see. No, we can do, maybe we can do better. Thank you, Steve. Steve5, thank you. I think that we can query the post likes, right? And we can also retrieve the post itself. Like, nice, I like it. So let's check it out. So if we go to like posts and I want to create another request, so let's do this. Boom. Let's create another request. That's going to be get liked posts, right? And in here, what's it's going to be Supabase. Let's put it in activity. Let's do a get a list as well. That's going to be from post likes. All right. This is going to seem like we are getting the post likes actually, but by getting the post likes, we can also join the posts table and retrieve the post that belongs to that like as well. See that in a second. So first of all, if we simply do this and we get the post likes, and what we do is query this by the user ID who made the like as well. So we filter by user ID, and that user ID must be equal again to the user ID, as we simply did. And also, yeah, let's simply call this. Post likes does not exist. It's called posts likes in plural. So this is going to be posts likes. Boom. Cool. So if we check this, you're going to see how I have liked 2 posts. That doesn't seem right. What is this user? Maybe I'm this user. Who am I? Hold on. Who am I? Because I have different accounts. Get the user. I am the BD58A7. BD58A7. How many posts are for that? BD58. Ah, all right. I just like 2. That makes sense. All right, cool. So the query is fine. I'm getting the 2 posts that I've liked. But as you can see here, I'm getting the like, and I'm also getting this post ID. So I can use that post ID. It sounds like a Star Wars robot. Yes, it does. I can use this post ID to join the query with the posts table to retrieve the post itself, right? So let's do that. In here, I can do, whoops, let's go back to the request. No, it's in here. In here, I can select the columns, and I can do the same thing. I can do, what do we need from the post? Let's grab what we need from the post. I want to get the ID. I think it's fine. I can also get the, come on, post likes. Actually, just the ID, it's fine. And then we're going to get the post ID. The way that we do this is by saying, hey, from the posts, is it in plural? Yes. I want to get the post from the posts table. And in here, I want to include the ID, the title. What else do we want? The category and the profile. So we can do this. Let's grab that and the profile. We should make this multi-line, this field. Just so you have better visibility, let me put it, let's put it in here. So I'm passing all of this like that. All right. Which it would be the same as if I did this. I want to get the post from the posts table. So I'm going to be getting one single post. And I'm including this like that. Like that. Hopefully this makes sense. Like this. So from the post, I'm getting the post ID, and then I'm getting the title. I'm missing a comma here. I'm going to get the ID, the title, and then I'm also going to be getting from another joined table, which is from the categories. I'm going to be getting the category of the post. And from the profiles, I'm going to be getting the profile of the post. And from there, the category, I'm getting this log, I'm getting the name, and from the profile, I'm getting the username, I'm getting the profile image. So all of that, it's about selecting the specific columns. And when there's a relationship, we're also passing that as well, going nested and more nested and more nested. We're nesting quite a lot in here, right? So now that we've got this, hopefully it's clear. We can use this in the query like that. Boom. Oops. No, why you would do this? Like that. Okay, let's try it. Yeah, cool. So as you can see here, we are getting the like. Actually, we don't even need the like. Let's get rid of this like that. I just want to get the post. And from the post, I'm getting the ID and the title and the profile, the nested fields. And from the category, I'm getting the nested fields as well, right? I know that sounds a bit complex, but it works, right? Now, the problem is that now we have nested fields because each one of these, it's not the post, it's an object that contains a property that is the post. So here, if we want to include that in the data source, here, here, we need to do a little bit of update to the data because I cannot say r dot get liked posts dot data. This is not going to work because, as you can see, the data is coming like this. It's coming nested, right? So we need to grab this and we need to map it to grab the object inside the post object and put that post object like that. So essentially, all I'm doing is simply destructuring the nested post property and just passing it to be the main object of these data like that. So now, as you can see, now it's we kind of unwrapped the data to go from a nested property to the main object for each one of these like that. So now I can see the like posts. Nice. So what I have to do now is, again, let's do get my post. Let's duplicate this event. And we're going to call this get liked posts. So I have to change this a bit. And this goes to liked posts. Only when this happens, I want to load this data. And I want to run a function to wait for the user to be added. That's absolutely fine. But here, I want to get the, not my post, but get liked posts, like that. Look at that. Nice. So let's try it out. If I go and try to like a different post, maybe I can like, which one? Look at my cool video. If I come and like this post, and now I go to my activity page, like posts. Yay! That's showing up in here. Cool. All right. So we've got my post, we've got like posts. We need to now implement read posts. Now, how do we do this, right? Because right now we don't have a way to track who is reading what post. So what we can do is here create another table that it's called posts readings, post visits, maybe. Post how what do we call this? Posts activity? I don't know. Let's let's do posts readings. I'm not really sure if we should do post readings. What do you guys think? Posts. Let's do post views. Yeah, I like post views, but the thing is that we only need to track when the user reads the post once, right? I don't need to be tracking um, every time that the user opens the post. I just want to do it for one time. But anyways, let's do post views. That's fine. All right. All right. So we're gonna need an ID. That's absolutely fine. We're gonna need a user ID property as well, and we're gonna need a post ID like that. Do we need something else? I think that we don't need anything else. So let's define the relationships. So user ID goes to ba, ba, bam, to the profiles. So user ID goes to the profile ID. Done. If we are deleting a profile, we want to actually no. If we are deleting here, we want to delete this as well. Yes. Then let's add another relationship from the auth schema. So from the user. So user ID again goes to the user's ID. And if we're removing this, again, let's cascade down. Yes. And last relationship that goes from for the posts. This is going to be post ID that goes to the post ID. And again, same thing. If we remove the post, we want to also remove the views from here. Done. Nice. Done. Okay. adding here, it's very similar to the post likes. Actually, it's kind of the same thing. The only difference is that the post views will be done whenever we open the post. The post likes is only happening whenever we like the post, obviously. So we want to add a role level security policy. So let's close the assistant. Let's create a policy that enables reading only for authenticated users. Enable update, enable insert based on user ID, enable insert now. Select. Policy to implement it. Enable users to view their own data only. Yes, correct. So I only want to allow people to read the post that they have read, like that. Boom. Nice. Now, what else? We want to create a policy so inserting goes only for users based on user ID. Yes. Deleting, same thing. Do we need to delete stuff? I don't think we need to delete stuff. No. Yeah, I think that's fine. We will probably need another thing as well for enable users to insert and to update as well, because we're going to be doing upserting. We're going to be doing upserting. Yes. So let's go back to the table, post views. Now, let's edit this for a second, because now I'm thinking, all right, we want to have, again, the same constraint that a user can only update the view of the same post ID once. Simon is saying, I usually create table views with Supabase when there are related tables, but it seems to make much more sense to use the table tables. Yeah, I mean, it's convenient as well to do table views, of course. It is convenient this way because you're doing a joint query. You're not creating dedicated views and bringing more things into the mix. So it simplifies things a bit. It only makes it more complicated in the request definition, but that's fine. I want to add a constraint of user ID and post ID. And the thing is that if I visit the page once, I want to create a record of post view. If I visit the page again, I don't want to be doing anything, right? Because it already exists. So let's just add a constraint for now. User ID and post ID must be unique. And we've done that in the past. I think that we can recover some of the past conversations. I think that this was maybe this. All right. It seems like the history from Supabase is not working. Anyways, create a new constraints trained for the table called posts views. So each row must have a unique combination of user ID and post ID. A user can view multiple posts. A post can be viewed by multiple users, but a post cannot be viewed multiple times by the same user. Like that. Let's see if that works. Yeah, correct. That's what I wanted. Like that. So essentially, this add constraint is doing, hey, the user ID and post ID combination must be unique, which means that we're not going to be creating duplicates for every view that the user is doing on the same post. All right, so let's try to run this. This is posts views. Let's see if that works fine. Yeah, run, success, nice. Okay, I think that that should be fine now. So what we want to do now is we want to go to the post page. Let's do that. Post page, to the post page now. And every time that we load the page here, we want to be sending a request saying, hey, we have read this post, right? So let's create a new request that's going to be um, track post view, something like that. And that's going to go into the post page. That's absolutely fine. Supabase. And that's going to be a create an item. Create an item that goes to posts views. It's post views? Post views, yes. And in here, what I want to do is pass the data for the user ID and the post ID. Now I'm realizing that actually we've made a mistake, which is this cannot be nullable. So this is not nullable, and this is not nullable as well. Because I don't want to be able to create a view without passing the user ID and the post ID. Cool. Okay, so the user ID, same thing. It's going to be our user. Actually, we can simply use the variable user ID. I don't know why I've been using anything else. Because the user ID variable, we created that variable for refactoring purposes in the previous live stream. Um, that variable essentially is just grabbing the ID from the r.getUser.data.user.id. So that's it makes it shorter. We want to pass that, and the post ID, it's going to be the currently loaded post. So we're going to do post ID. That will be r.getPost.data.id, like that. Which I think that, yes, correct. Like this, right? So if we do this right, nice, look at that. I have created a view now. Yay. So I have, and we can even check when we read the post, right? Because when this record is created, it's the moment that we are reading the post. That's absolutely fine. Nice. What happens if we do this again? The thing is that I want to not create the item, but I actually want to upsert the item. Like that. So essentially what happens is that if the item does not exist, it creates the item. If the item does exist, all it does is update the item, right? So let's see, can I run this? Duplicate key value violates the unique constraint. Maybe we're gonna run into the issue here. Duplicates definition. Let's see, user ID and post ID, like that. Let's try it again. All right, good. That makes sense. Um, we are now gonna need another row level security policy to update things, because right now we only have policy for creating things and for reading things. I want to have the same policy, but for updating. So I'm just gonna grab this, enable insert for users based on user ID, but I'm gonna change this to enable update, and that's gonna go for update. So for update, we're gonna check that the user ID matches the user's ID. Huh. Hold on. What? 1 second. Enable insert. But I want to do update. I don't need this. Oh, I do need it? Provide a SQL expression for the using. All right, let's ask AI to do it for us. I don't want to be doing this. Create a new row level security policy for the posts views table that allows users to update data based on the user ID column only if it matches their user ID. Like that. So it creates a policy, allow users to update their own post views. Yes. Post views for update to authenticated. Yes, using this with this check. Yes. Let's run this query. Boom. And I think that that should solve it. Yeah, like that. So if we try to call this again, yeah, cool. So as you can see here, we can see that every time that now we are calling this, we're going to be updating the row if it exists. If it doesn't exist, then like that. So we can have the created at, but we can also do um, the what can we do? We can have, because I want to have another column that mentions what's the last time that we viewed it, right? So let's edit this, edit the table, and let's add another row that says updated at, maybe. Yeah, why not? And that's going to be a timestamp. And the default again as well will be now. Let's make it nullable for a second, but we're going to update to be not nullable after. Boom. Nice. Let's edit the table for a second. Let's make it not nullable. And now I'm wondering, how do we pass a timestamp to here? Because ideally in the request, I want to pass the updated at. So my question is, how do we do this? Let's ask ChatGPT for a second. When updating a Supabase record, how do I update a timestamp field? I'm using JavaScript. And I know, let's add some more zoom. Don't be mad at me. So we only need to pass a new date. All right, let's try it. So if we do new date, like that, nice. Let's try it again. Could not find the updated at column for post views. Oh, hold on. Wrong name. This is not update at, it's updated at. And again, this should not be nullable. We're almost done, guys. Stay with me. Was it solved? Now. All right. Now we're talking. Cool. So if I try to call this again, now, yeah. Okay. So as you can see here, the created ad doesn't change, but the updated ad, it does change. As you can see here, it is, every time that I requested, it is being updated properly. Like that. Nice. So now all we need to do is make this request every time that we are loading the page. And we already have an event for that. The event says post page loading, right? Let's call this load post. So on the post page, we are currently navigating away. If there is no ID, that's fine. We are getting the post and we're getting the post comments. And after that, I want to do a perform a request, and the request will be track post view. We're going to make it conditional again, only if the get post is okay, because if it's not okay, we don't want to do that. And if we did that right, now we should see how when the page loads, the track post view request is triggered. So let's try it. Refresh this and boom. So now every time that I'm visiting a post, we are tracking the post view for that. Let's try to open another one, maybe this one. Boom. Let's do another one, maybe this one. Boom. And I should see now, yeah, look at that, how we are tracking the post that I'm viewing, right? So now that we've got this, we can simply reuse the same system that we did for the post likes, where we get all the posts based on the user ID and we do a join query to get also the post object from that. So let's go back to the activity page. Let's go to Read Posts. And we're going to grab the get liked posts. And I'm going to duplicate this because we're mostly going to be using the same logic. So let's duplicate this. And this is going to be get read posts. And this is going to be coming from posts views. And I think that's it, I think. Because the user ID is same thing. And then I also want to get the post, same thing. So if we track this, nice, I can see the post that I have seen. Lovely. Which means that I only need to go now here and update this source. Whoops, not this, sorry, this. To do this and do this as well, but this is going to be viewed posts. No, sorry, get read post. Now, how is the request called? I just forgot. Get read posts. I think that's it. So if we get the read posts, r.getReadPosts data. And now when the page loads, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to not get the like posts, but we're going to get the read posts. And that only happens in the read posts page. We want to wait for the get user. We want to get not the like posts, but we want to get the read posts. Okay, and somehow something is missing. So let me check. We are getting the read posts. Yes. Yes, correct. Get read posts. So here, for some reason, this is not coming properly. Get read posts data.map. Oh yeah, I know why. Because if we're doing this, we are actually getting an empty array, right? So what we want to do, I know what's happening. What we want to do is check if there is any. No, actually it should work. Oh yeah, because this is. So what's happening is that if for some reason this is null, it's undefined, then we cannot map over it because it's going to be trying to access a property on an object that it's not defined. That's not correct. So we need to add these optional changing saying, hey, all right, if this is null, if it's undefined, whatever, just don't keep moving on to try to map this. Just skip it. So now that we've done this, now I can see the posts that I've read, the posts that I've liked, my posts, and we don't have enough time to do the comments, but the system will be very similar. Hopefully everyone gets this. Let's try to read another post. Let's try to do testing. Boom. Let's go now to the activity, read posts, and yay, look at that. Maybe we could even, let me make a quick improvement and then we're gonna end it here. Let's sort by updated at, like that, which means that yes, if we're sorting by updated at, it means that we are always going to see the last post that we just saw. right? If I go now and visit the welcome to our community forum, boom, and now I go to the activity page again, I should see that one at the top. Yeah. If I go to attributes B2 is lunch, or maybe Tori, this one. La la la, la la la. Nice. Like your comments. Nice. And I go again to Read Posts. I should see the Tori one at the top. Yeah. Lovely. All right, cool. We are getting pretty far away now. The only thing that's missing now is being able to access the activity page from here, because this activity is no longer a thing. So maybe, first of all, let's get rid of the activity section. We don't need this. Maybe we can add a link. I think that adding a link here is absolutely fine. So just like this in the profile page, we simply add it down below here. And we just say my activity. And that's going to go to my posts like that. We don't need this. Oh, actually, yes, we do need it. Let's do not and margin large for this. So margin bottom, margin large. Let's wrap this. Margin bottom and margin large. Done. Let's do very small. Nice. All right. So this goes away. This goes away. Let's polish everything. Let's quickly check it out. And let's say goodbye to everyone, because today I'm 15 minutes over time. I apologize for that, guys. All right, cool. So I'm logged in. Nice. Let's see if this gets published, because I cannot see the activity page. Oh, hold on. That's because this has some attribute that we don't want to have. Nice. So I can go to my activity. I can see my posts. I can see liked posts, and I can see the read posts. Nice. Pretty nice. Look at that. Yeah, I can go here, and now I can go back. I can open this one, and now I can go back. I can unlike this post, and now I can go back, and I shouldn't see it. That's working pretty nicely. All right, cool. Okay, so everyone, thank you for your patience. I think that we spent about like 15 minutes today trying to debug something, and it was a completely waste of time. I apologize for that, but at least the activity feed is kind of ready. The next live stream, I'm going to be focusing on something you've been waiting for a long time, which is adding subscriptions. So we're going to be adding a new role in the users table that defines if somebody is a premium user. And depending on if they're premium or not, we're going to be restricting some of these categories. So maybe we can do like a premium category, and that category is only accessible by premium users. So we're going to set up a way to create a subscription, to subscribe to it, and to check if the user is subscribed, and to disallow or allow access to the premium category based on if the user is a premium user or not. So stay tuned, because that's happening next Friday. Up until then, everyone, have a good weekend. Thank you all. See you.